welcome to Santa's live stream. This is Dirty Santa playing Dirty Blues. Hello there, Davide. Have you been a good boy? Thank you, Ekrem. I know I look good. This costume has been tested for thousands of years, over and over again. People love it. They have fantastic associations with it. It reminds them of their childhood. But damn it, this beard is not sitting the way I wanted to. There we go. Thank you. That's better. Ooh, yeah. This is the Santa Blues. I'm playing the Santa Blues. Yeah, baby, I'm playing the Santa Blues. Have you been a good boy? I said, have you been a good boy? Have you been a good boy? I said, have you been a good boy? I said, Santa's coming to town, but have you been a good boy? Yeah! Have you been a good boy? Santa is leaving town today. So tell me, what do I do now? Is there a continuation to this? Now I've made myself look like a fool in public. I should be rewarded in some way. I'll just read some comments. I look good, thank you. Pew 3 Wi-Fi. My opinion on Parker guitars. Well, since I'm several 100,000 years old, I should know. After all, these are pretty new. I've actually, this is the oldest guitar in my collection is from 2000. And it's a Parker Nightfly. I think they are a truly amazing instrument. Very different in terms of durability, playability, and stability. They get top score on all of those. The sound is, I think, very cool, but very different. And I'm not really used to working with the sound. It's really nice. It has a very juicy... but I find the sound is kind of hard to use in the mix, though. So that's my opinion about Parker guitars. And you better enjoy my costume while it lasts, because it's getting hot in here. Nelson, that's awesome. Heavy Christmas, that's right. Have you ever tried to look at the end of your hat? Let me try. Yeah, I have, yeah. Santa, give me some guitar licks. Of course. That's why we're here. And some metal, yeah. Santa must be playing metal. So let's do some licks on a metal track and we'll satisfy 2 requests at the same time. That's what Santa likes to do. So, heavy modern backing. So let's see what we get. Guitar backing track. So let's see what this is. to shred! That's right! So grab your guitar and play in E minor! Who said I want you to shred? Oh yeah! Cool. So there we go. E minor modern metal sad guitar backing track. There it is. And in case you guys were wondering about the previous backing track, well, I can't find it anymore. There it is. So that's the previous one, the Heavy Dirty Blues. And there I played some licks, so someone requested licks. Do you want me to explain a specific type of lick? Please let me know in that case. Saludos de Guatemala, Josh Vasquez. Awesome to have you here. Leonardo Carrillo. Merry Christmas to everybody, including you, Leonardo. Guitar 30 Russ Ivan. Hello there, and lots of smileys and icons. Okay, man, this is getting severely hot, but we're gonna do it the same way as usual. So you guys just shoot me down with requests, questions, whatever, and I will take off my Xanacles. What a relief. Oh man, don't ever try this. Whew. Okay, well this is a bit better. I can keep the rest of the clothes for a while. Leo, Happy New Year. And we got Mrs. G Top Potato here. Javo Varestegui, saludos de Mexico. What's up, Mexico? So I've done some tweaking to the cameras. I hope everything works as expected and maybe even better than previously. Hopefully I am now in sync. Last time we had some problems with my lips. The guitar was in sync though. Hello there, Scoob Master. So what do we do now? We play some more, I suggest. Here's a cool one. Heavy blues rock in B. My house is on fire, but I just can't see no flame. You know my woman is on fire, and I sure can see some smoke. And I ain't never coming back no more. You know my house is on fire. Oh, heat is killing me. Cool. Yes. Thank you very much. And Merry Christmas, everybody. So I tried to do a little Santa show, but I think it's over now because heat is just killing me. So off goes my, well, almost my last piece of Santa Claus. Here we go. Ooh. Don't ever do the Santa thing. It's really tricky. So off with that one. Off we go. Thank you. Oh, come on. And yeah, so just Santa pants here, that'll do. So you might be wondering why I was using this Parker. This is actually an old guitar of mine, an old favorite guitar. But it's, you know, when it comes to guitars, you know, I go in cycles, and most of the time I'm a humbucker guy, but recently I've really felt for single coils. And I don't have, most of my guitars have humbuckers, you know, and this one has 2 single coils and a humbucker. So I really enjoyed playing with the single coils, and I've been playing my Telecaster quite a bit as well, which has more vintage style single coils, and I just like the definition and trying to turn the gain knob down a little bit. It's harder to play, obviously, but it can be really rewarding as far as practicing. You lose a lot of the fluidity you get from, obviously, from you know, high gain and distortion, but you gain tone, of course, and I think more control in a way, because the more you practice with single coils and with a cleaner sound, the more you're going to get control of all those nuances, because single coils are really sensitive to, you know, how you pick the string, where you pick it, how you synchronize your hands, and how hard and how soft and all that. So yeah, and the guitar is extremely playable. Of course, I haven't been playing it a lot for a while, which makes it a little bit harder to play, although the neck is really fantastic. It's it doesn't leave a big imprint. I mean, it's really small. It's like a small C shape, and it's it has what's it called? Graphite fretboard and stainless steel frets, so it's really easy to bend, and the action is really cool. I've never had to do anything with it. It's just super stable. So yeah, cool guitar. I might be playing it more. The problem has always been this pickup, which has never made sense to me because I was stupid enough to sell the original humbucker a long time ago. So now I've tried with several different, and tone just doesn't work out. As you can hear, sounds great with this pickup, middle pickup, nice too, but I guess it's okay. Right now we have P rails in there, but I've done, you know, the Seymour Duncan GB thing, so I tried that one. But I'm probably gonna stick a single coil in there and try that next time. Cool, we got a lot of questions there. That's awesome. Notice me, senpai, please. I'm actually a blues player, and I'm looking for a way to make the pentatonic scale more interesting. Try Mixolydian and more suggestions maybe. Cool. Yeah, for sure. That's pretty much what I try all the time. So the question is, how do you make the pentatonic scale more interesting? And it's super relevant, I think, because I love the pentatonic scale. I think the pentatonic scale is, you know, at least for me, the best foundation I can have when playing, because that's where all the strong melodies come from. Now, if I want a special, you know, tension going or some special feeling or sound going, then I'll almost all the time start with the pentatonic scale and change a note here and there and add a note here and there. And that's definitely something we can look at right now. Obviously the sustain could be a bit better, maybe. But so yeah, some cool ways to add extra note to the blues scales. We have a backing track here in B. That's just pure pentatonic scale. So let's add the blues note, you know, the one, we're in B, so that's gonna be the 10th fret on the G string. If you haven't tried that one, do it. You can even do a string skip like. So 10th fret on the G string. We're in B minor pentatonic. Let's try the Dorian note. That's gonna be the 9th fret on the B string. It's really nice to use in combination with the flat 5th, which I just showed you. So here are both together. I'm just touching them lightly, but I'm definitely playing them. So it's cool because we get two identical shapes. We get 9, 10, and then pull-offs. 9, 10, 9, 7, 9, 10, 9, 7. So we're playing both the Dorian note and the blues note there. Let's be a bit more exotic and add the mixolydian or the major third. So we're gonna add the 11th fret on the high E string. And I like to play it in combination with the minor third, so we get 7, 10, 11. So please notice how I'm not throwing long modes at you or anything like that. I'm just telling you to play the pentatonic scale and then add a note here and there, and that's what we've been doing. And also notice that if I combine all the tricks I just showed you, basically adding 3 different notes, I'm pretty much playing like 3 modes in just one run. So if I do this, so you know, and I was just adding those 3 extra notes. So it's a really neat trick to not have to visualize scales. You can just play the pentatonic scale and think of it as added notes. It's definitely my preferred way of visualizing modes. Let's do some more. Let's do some really crazy ones. Let's combine the minor 6th and the major 6th. So we're gonna play the 8th and the 9th frets on the B string in combination with the minor pentatonic scale. Whoops, one more time. So that sounds kind of weird. But if we speed it up, it sounds kind of cool. And if we add all the other notes, it gets really crazy. You know, the 3 ones I just showed you. We get something like... So I think it's really a fresh and interesting way to look at adding extra notes. So major third, Dorian, flat 5th. So and there I added the major third down here as well. So So you asked for the mixolydian, and this is actually the mixolydian note. So let's do it again just because it's so fun. First I showed you the flat 5th, so we're in B minor. The flat 5th is gonna be the F note on the G string 10th fret. So if you just play the pentatonic scale, you get this kind of symmetric shape. So that's just the flat 5th note, the blues note. Now let's try it with the Dorian mode, or the Dorian note. So we're gonna play the 9th fret on the B string. Kind of weird note. So let's play it with other pentatonic notes. And let's add the major third as well, which you'll find here on the 11th fret on the high E string. 11th fret high E string. So if we add all together, we get flat fifth. Just licks with the flat fifth. Now let's add the Dorian note. Maybe it goes kind of fast, but maybe you can hear the color. Let's combine the Dorian and the flat fifth. And then let's finally add some Mixolydian. Now the last thing I showed you was that really crazy kind of adding both the major 6, which is a Dorian note, and the minor 6, which is the Aeolian note. So those would be the 9 and 8 on the B string. Sounds really bad, right? But listen to how they sound in context. They sound kind of country-ish. So if we add all of those together, we get that crazy run. So first the blues note, the flat fifth, and then the Dorian note, which is a major 6, and then the major third, which is the Mixolydian or typical major notes, and then finally that weird combination of major 6 and minor 6. We get Dorian and flat fifth. Let's do it a bit slower. And it's a Mixolydian, and then and so on and so forth. I don't know if this makes sense to you, but if it goes too fast, then it's hard to understand everything. The important part is to understand that I'm just thinking pentatonics and I'm adding notes here and there. I think that's really crucial because it simplifies everything. There are a lot of methods and courses out there that are going to show you long, difficult patterns, and it just kills creativity, I think, to follow those. So just the usual rules is just have fun and add some extra notes to the scales you already know, like the pentatonic scale. So I hope that helps. So what is my approach to hybrid picking? Well, that's convenient because I've been doing a lot of hybrid picking here. So with hybrid picking, I never sat down and thought I'm going to learn hybrid picking, which is weird because that's what I've done with pretty much all of the other techniques. But with hybrid picking, it seemed like it was twofold. I noticed pretty quickly I could get more interesting attack from the guitar if I did, instead of doing this. Oops. Yeah. I could use my hybrid finger, and that would give a different punch. So already that was like an incentive to start experimenting with it, not practicing, more playing. So whenever I was trying to play some blues, I would do both standard licks and try it with a hybrid finger. So I would never do anything advanced, like anything like that. I would just do, because it sounded differently. It sounded cool. It sounded poppy with an attack. Pop as in slap and pop. Then I came to also realize pretty much at the same time that, if I was nervous trying to play, I don't know, in front of people or whatever, I was more likely to actually, hit the right string if I had positioned my right hand finger on that string and was sort of ready to play it. That wasn't quite as obvious or easy to do with a pick, but with the hybrid fingers, there are more of them obviously, but we can start with this one. Then it became kind of easy because you could just rest it here. So maybe I would be playing like some notes with a pick, and it was just added an extra layer of security. So hopefully I would hit that note. So those kind of things. realizations made me use the hybrid picking technique when I was playing, and I never practiced it. Some exceptions, you know, when I tried to play the intro to Cliffs of Dover, stuff like that, I think Cliffs of Dover, but I could never play that stuff. So I tried a little bit, but most of the time I've just been playing with it. So how should you adapt this to your playing? So what I said there hopefully should make you realize that, okay, let's not sit down and do some hybrid picking exercise like whatever. That's not what I did, at least. So what I did was this. Just using the hybrid finger. Just playing simple lines with hybrid fingers. Maybe some double stuff. Using those two fingers. And if you want, you can try some combination of pick and... That's the kind of thing that's eventually going to give you the open up this possibility to do. Can you see my right hand? A lot of hybrid picking in there. But the starting point is just doing a little bit of picking and a little bit of hybrid picking. Try to just jam around with that and have fun. That's the most effective way to learn something. Believe it or not, it's much faster than just repeating something with a metronome. If you have fun with it over a backing track, there are our brain is complex, and how learning functions is a complex thing. So this is not something I can scientifically explain to you, but I can certainly tell you my experience, which is that whenever I find a musical way of practicing something, I learn it so much faster. And I'm sure that if I went out digging, I could find some research backing that up as well. Feel free to prove me wrong, though. So hopefully that helps, Mr. or Mrs. Pew 3 Wi-Fi. Pew 3 Wi-Fi. Okay, so here we go. We've got a link from Leonardo Cirillo, perhaps? Cirillo? I don't know. Just. So let's see what that is. Amazing metal in... I'm guessing. Sounds like 8. So the amazing metal in A, we can now establish that. If you're searching for the backing track, it just says amazing metal in ... question mark. Pew 3 Wi-Fi, love your weekly live stream. Awesome to hear, man. What's your opinion about P90 pickups? Well, I've never tried a real P90. I just have this one, which is a P-rail, which is basically a kind of small rail pickup combined with a P90 style pickup. But it seems like a really cool concept, I think. You get something in between humbucker and single coil, which I guess is the idea. How long did you start playing the guitar? I usually say that I started seriously when I was 18, and I'm 35 now. I've had some breaks in there, but I think the reality of it is that I got the guitar when I was 10 years old, but I didn't really enjoy practicing it. I just practiced once per week before I would go to my guitar teacher. But then obviously with the whole listening to metal and rock and roll, I started understanding that you could do cool things with the guitar. So I got gradually I got more serious, and by the time I was 18, I was really just trying to do everything else really quickly so I could sit down and play guitar. Okay. You use a lot of mod uses, more modes probably, but it's really confusing. Hopefully my explanation helped. There's a bit of a delay there, so by the time you asked your question, I hadn't said all those things about modes, so hopefully that helps. Is it harder to know where you are without having fret inlays? No, because I have the fret inlays here. So this is not the best instructional guitar, I guess. So I almost never use this guitar now. But if it's really a pain, then I can change guitar. Just let me know. That's not a problem. Yeah, sometimes when I'm not used to it and I'm doing wide stretches and I'm not really looking up here where the fret marks are, I'm rather looking in this area, then it can feel a little bit difficult. But it's a matter of habit, and as I said, I haven't been playing this one for a long time. So love your videos. Thank you, Rock123. This stream is something else, man. Thanks. Daniel Morales. Something neoclassical maybe, and any advice on riff making progress. So let's try something neoclassical. Neoclassical backing. Neoclassical ballad. Just gonna have to turn up gain a little bit more. So this one says neoclassical ballad guitar backing track in A minor, 85 BPM. I'm just gonna switch gears or guitar. fix the sound, which isn't really working for me. I had a pretty extreme setting there with a Parker guitar, so I'm just gonna see if I can find something a bit more standard here. I'm going through whatever. Oh man. So levels are not really optimal. But yeah, that was some jamming at least. So let's see if there's anybody still out there. Is there anybody out there? What's that Machine Head track? Is there anybody listening? Riff making process. Oh, don't make riffs with this kind of sound. That's my first advice. It's really bassy. Oh man. Come on, give me something usable, please. Something just not digging. Why does it sound? I'm just browsing through profiles here and it's not working for me. So why don't I just show you what the heck I'm doing now that I'm going through these profiles? Maybe that's going to be more interesting for you. So let's see if I can do this. Yep, you can't see my face, but who cares? Hopefully you can see what I'm doing now. So I'm just going through my saved presets. And whoops, I'm not really finding anything enjoyable here. So this is a Bogner kind of amp. Nothing wrong with the amp, it's just a... It's just a patch that doesn't suit today's mood. So let's try this. It's a Sir Hedgehog. This is a really cool profile. Very dry, but I can fix that. So there are no delay or reverb or anything. So here's a Marshall. So I've usually add at the end of the name here, it says LTD, and that means that I've done this patch for my LTD guitar. So this is for my Strat, and since the guitars have, different sounds on their own, you can't just take one patch and expect it to sound equally cool on another guitar. But you can still use it as a starting point. Pretty cool sustain here. So here's a Marshall. This is more of a riff thing. So let's just grab, since there was a question about riffing, I'll just take a rhythm kind of sound. And I have some really cool rhythm sounds from Synmix. Ooh, this is a lot of distortion here. So let's see, there's just something that doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, it's the noise gate. Now we're good. So let's... So here's some slightly better... I'm not really very active at writing songs right now. But, I think that the most common way of writing riffs is to just noodle around. That's what a lot of people do. Maybe find a shape that you like or a rhythm and try to develop that. So, or if you got some, so that's your rhythm key. You can expand on that. So maybe just repeat the same figure on different places. So if I'm playing, so it's E0057. Let me just bring back my face, because I know you love to watch my face. Come on. So yes, thank you. There we go. So that's the shape. So 0057. So you have a shape, you have a rhythm, and maybe you could repeat that so to get a continuation. So you have like a downward going motion there with your rhythmical figure, and I'm just using the E minor scale. And then some kind of hook or turning point in the riff. So something like that. And that's it could be one approach. You start with a rhythmic figure and you try moving that around. You want something more evil sounding perhaps, then you could switch to another scale or just experiment with different notes. So maybe do some Phrygian dominant or something. Although it has happened to be the same note. So whatever. But I usually write riffs thinking in terms of melody. So I try to visualize a melody in my head and then play that as a riff. Something like that, you know, start. And that sounds a bit goofy, of course. But you can, as I said, use that as your starting point and then add some, you know, more evil sounding notes or whatever you want to do. And what about combining both methods? Maybe you want to do a little bit of the noodling and moving around shapes and a little bit of listening and trying to figure out a melody. I think that could be a winning concept to actually combine different strategies for writing. And, you know, most, like big songwriters when interviewed say that they haven't really got a method for writing a song. It's more like, how did I do it? It's more getting into the vibe, doing different every time. Because I think if you find a method to write songs, there's a major chance your songs are going to get predictable if you use the same method all the time. So, you know, try to find what works, experiment, and, you know, try to get tips from everywhere. That's probably the best advice I can give you. Rowan, greetings from Czech Republic. How can I make phrasing variations while improvising to make it sound different and more interesting? Because my jams sound after a while really similar and that sucks. I hear you. So you can see me switching between different guitars like a madman, and that just goes along with what I just said about finding the recipe for the day, pretty much. Nothing was really working for me. I started out with a Parker guitar. Now I'm here with this is a Les Paul Studio Junior, but it has a pretty nice sound. Oh, am I getting... I don't want to be getting artifacts, but I'll just find a preset for my... That could work. So the question is, how do I come up with, you know, phrasing variations and how do I make it sound different and more interesting, because my jams sound the same after a while and that's boring. So I think the best general answer I can give on that is to you have to try to, every time you sit down with the guitar, you obviously want it to sound a bit new, different. You want it to be more creative than yesterday, because otherwise, if you just play the same thing as yesterday, you're going to be bored. So how do you accomplish that? Well, the best method I have found is to put myself in a new context all the time. So how do I do that if I'm just here in my home studio? I'm just me alone here, and what do I do? Well, I have I have a bunch of different guitars. You don't need different guitars, but I have a bunch of different sounds. That's useful. I can play with a clean sound. I can play with a distorted sound. And most importantly, I got millions of backing tracks available via the internet. So I use all those components to try to, and of course I got lots of different, techniques I can use and the fingerings and stuff like that, and scales and notes and all that. I use all that and I try to come up with a different combination on a daily basis. Now let me clarify what I mean here. So the idea is, even though what you played yesterday, maybe you were happy about your session yesterday, it sounded cool, so you want to do the same thing today, and that might sound decent, but then the next day you might try to do the same thing, and eventually it's just gonna suck, and you're gonna be so bored of yourself, and you're gonna basically be sitting here and asking me the question you just asked. So even though what I played yesterday might have sounded fine to me, I'm still not going to play that. I'm going to play something different. And even though what I'm trying to play today makes me feel a bit uncomfortable, I'm still going to do it because I know that otherwise I'm going to get into the stuck in a rut thing. So the answer is to always expose yourself to new things. The easiest is just to get new backing tracks all the time and do that on a daily basis. And over some backing tracks, you're going to sound really bad. But that's usually the backing tracks where you learn the most, even though you don't realize it now, and even though the results don't really show now, but they are eventually going to show. So you have to dare to expose yourself to new backing tracks, new bands, new settings, just because that's what makes you evolve. You've probably heard people say that if you go and you try to get a gig with a new band and you lose the gig, you might feel like shit and all that, but still, that's the thing that in the long run takes you forward. You have to go out and try things. I'm not, alone in saying these things. It's I think it's kind of widely known that you have to go expose yourself to different things. But it doesn't have to be as dramatic as the example I just gave you, going out and exposing yourself to a band or whatever. You can just sit at home and expose yourself to new backing track. That's the light version. And that's pretty much what I'm doing with you guys, because I'm playing over any backing track you request. And sometimes it sounds like shit, and sometimes it works out. But either way, I do learn a lot while I'm at it. But I'm going to try to be more specific as well. How can I make phrasing variations while improvising to make it sound different and more interesting? So here's a more concise tip, which you can use to try to make your jam sound more interesting. So let me just find a backing track first. Come on, E minor, beautiful, soft backing track. Let's try that. Ooh. So in E minor, Okay, that's all fine and dandy, but how do you do when it doesn't work out and you don't have a clue what to play? One thing you can try, just to prevent yourself from playing the usual stuff, is to introduce limitations or handicaps to your playing. And there are millions of them, and I can't really think of them all right now at this point. But some examples would be you could limit yourself and say, I'm only allowed to play on one string. Let's try that. So only one string. Let's choose the high E string. So I may only do this. I may not do this. Okay. Chances are it's gonna sound like shit when you try it, but you're definitely gonna be trying new things. It's all about trying new things all the time, and when you get into a habit of doing that, then after a while you're gonna be able to come up with new things on the fly while jamming, and that's what you wanted to accomplish, I think, with your question. But let's introduce even more limitations. Let's only play with one finger on one string. So imagine if you can come up with something using just one finger, what could you do with more fingers? Now if you learn how to come up with things on just one string, what if you could add more strings? How would that sound? Well, it certainly gives you more options, right? Okay, but let's try another thing. So let's say I'm only allowed to play with my hybrid finger, that one. So let's say I'm only allowed to do double stops. You know this. Let's only do string skips. It doesn't have to be fast, but you're not allowed to play on 2 consecutive strings like this. You have to skip one string all the time. So that kind of stuff can give you new ideas as well. So here's an even more effective thing you can think about when practicing. Force yourself to just play really short phrases. So in other words, the sort of limitation you're going to impose on yourself is going to be to have lots of pauses and lots of silence. So let's try that. So that's something that I think might give most results to many people watching this, because a lot of times we as guitarists tend to play too much, just lots of notes, whereas we would actually accomplish greater musical miracles by not playing. So this should be good news. You can play better without playing. That's pretty much what I'm saying. But just to wrap this up, what I was doing was I was imposing a lot of limitations on myself, and that was, for one, to practice these things. Perhaps I haven't practiced sliding around that much, or I haven't practiced doing string skipping, or I haven't practiced doing defined phrases. But also, because when you let go of the limitation, it's like, wow, I can do all this stuff. I don't have to think about my goddamn limitation. It's a bit like when you're sick, then, the only thing you want is to get well. So when you finally get well, you're like enjoying life more than ever just because you're feeling good again and nothing really happened. You just were not sick anymore. And it's pretty much the same with these kind of limitations. It gets so much fun to play after you let go of that limitation. So hopefully this can be useful. I hope it helps, Raven. We've got a Russian username here. What's up? From Belarus. That's awesome. I can't play the end of the solo Cemetery Gates by Pantera. I suck. Well, neither can I, so we're two. Where was I? I'm just going through your questions chronologically in case you're wondering about the delay. I'm not good at picking. Okay. So, how can you get better at picking? Well, first of all, to be honest with you, that thing, where you do that Paul Gilbert thing or Eric Johnson, you play very fast, in other words, or Yngwie, that kind of thing requires an insane amount of practice and it's semi-useful. The only reason I'm doing it is because I've spent so much time learning it, so I'm not. I still want to have it as an active ingredient in my playing. I don't really maintain it. Instead, I try to use it as musically as I can so that it's going to appear when I'm jamming. That's, I think, the best way to maintain a technique without really sitting down with a metronome every day. So, but that just goes to say, I don't think you have to try to learn, this as such. Instead, let it come with a lot of time and a lot of music, because if that happens, you're going to be the best player in the world, pretty much. However, if you sit down with a metronome and practice it until you can play it, you're just going to be one out of hundreds and thousands and millions of shredders that no one really cares about, to be honest. No one really wants to listen to someone do that, except a very small collection of internet guitarists that want to find who is the best, who is the fastest picker. But as I said, I think it's really the best way to develop this is by just playing and let it come with time. Because by the time you will have reached that technique, you're just gonna rock in every way. I promise you. So I practice these kind of things by. Let me see if I can find a backing track here. So there's melodious A minor again. That's a cool limitation you can impose on yourself as well, speaking of that, to play really staccato. So instead of doing, you do. But the question was about, picking. So I think your picking technique should come from just playing slow lines that sound musical to you. the levels. It's gonna take a long time before you can really push the speed. But don't focus on that. Focus on being as musical as you can, because then your speed chops are gonna be as musical as they can be, and it's gonna sound bloody amazing. And you're not gonna sound like one of those million shredders. Same goes with, hybrid picking. Try to play slower musical phrases and let that grow into a fast technique. Even before you can actually pick that, you have a greater chance of achieving that technique from just legato. So that's something I also practice. Slow legato and just musical legato that eventually grows into something you can use at higher tempos as well. And at this tempo, you can really be creative and play like string skipping, one note per string, which is not possible when you're trying to push it. So if you do that at the slower tempos, you're gonna take those interesting concepts with you at a higher tempo. And as I said, your shredding technique is gonna sound amazing, and it's not gonna sound like one of those million shredders out there. So hopefully that makes somewhat sense. The idea is that you get so many nuances and things that I can't really explain to you in words by following this advice. Because when you're trying to play something that sounds kind of meaningful to you over a backing track, and it doesn't have to sound good to someone else, as long as it's meaningful to you, as long as you're doing something that's fun to you, then you're sort of putting a lot of invisible kind of small nuances into your playing that develops into your style. And that is why sometimes you can hear a guitarist play 2 or 3 notes and you're like, how the hell does he or she make it sound so amazing with just 3 notes? I play the same 3 notes and it doesn't sound anywhere near. And a lot of times, even if you had access to the exact same sound setting, equipment, it wouldn't sound the same. There are tons of witnesses about that. You can find videos of Nuno Bettencourt saying, yeah, I tried My Heroes Van Halen setup, at some gig somewhere, and I thought I was going to sound like Van Halen, but I didn't at all. I just sounded like me. So again, those details, you put them into your style when you play something that's meaningful to you over a meaningful backing track. That is, a backing track that sounds cool to you. That's what it means. So please follow this advice and learn to, your picking chops, your legato chops over backing tracks like this, just playing music. And again, in the beginning, of course, it won't be anywhere near even my slow examples. But again, as long as it's somewhat meaningful and fun to you, then you're on a good path. So this would be perfectly fine as a starting point. And heck, even this would be amazing. Oh, sorry. sorry. So, that's what happens when you have a meaningful backing track. All of a sudden, you're just playing without thinking. And obviously, as a beginner, you won't be shredding away without thinking. But you are going to experience similar things on your level. When the music all of a sudden gives you an impulse to play something, you're going to try to do it. And even if you don't really manage to, it's still going to be insanely useful and inspiring for you. Cool. Hello there, Milos. What's up? Mehmet, you saw my baby in your old videos. Big Balls by AC/DC. What is that? That's a song, right? You want me to play that? I can't play that, sorry. Can you play Deep Purple Mistreated? Sorry. Play Carlos Santana. No, but I can try to sort of, trick my way to it. Let's just do Carlos Santana backing. Latin rock. This is a cool track. Smooth. A minorius.
My
Pretty cool track. So hopefully you guys are hearing me and everything. There was a request about Deep Purple as well. I haven't played in Deep Purple. So hopefully the Carlos jam would do. Ekrem is asking or saying, or first, Mehmed, am I using a processor? Yes, I'm using the Kemper Profiler. It's a digital amp. Ibanez Gem 7V or Gibson Les Paul Standard. I know they are different, but I want to know your opinion about those. Which would be you buy if you want it? Whew, very difficult. I think if I didn't have a guitar and I had to choose one of them, I would probably use the Ibanez Gem 7V. Is that 7 strings? I would probably use that more. But if I were more into what I'm doing now, only doing that, then I would go for the Les Paul. But I probably use my Ibanez RG more than I use my Les Paul, slightly at least. Happy holidays! Thank you, Next Level Gamer. Okay, so we got a Banana Chill kind of backing track suggested by Mrs. G-Top Potato. Let's see what it is. Bananas JPEG. Ooh, ah. Sorry for making these pervert noises. This is groovy. Am I in the right key? Am I out of tune? If you guys check the backing track out, you would see that I'm currently staring at 5 big bananas, and that's really inspiring. So thank you, Mrs. Guitar. Pretty cool. I felt like I was out of tune or didn't get the key right, but I tried to groove at least. I guess that's one way you can try to disguise the bad note, but by at least playing in time, so you sound like you mean what you're doing. So, can I play 16th note on 140 to 160 BPM? Oof, I don't know. Let's find out. Let's find out. I don't think I can. It's 140, that sounds like a lot. Yeah, I should be able to do this. Oh, I can. So that's 140, 150. I never do this. I guess somewhat sloppy, but this. Oh man, so let's just play it on one note first. There we have it, somewhat. It's horrible. But chances are I would do it better if I was in a song and was inspired, because I'm not really inspired by this. So let's just, for the fun of it, grab a 160 BPM rock track and see if I can do something with 16th notes. You asked about, well, you didn't ask about picking specifically. This would be a lot easier for me if I didn't have to pick. So 160 BPM backing. So simple straight beat. No, that's not inspiring. Joe Satriani. This could be cool. 160 BPM. So. So 16th note. What do you want to? I think I can do it. That's 60, 160. 16th note. What do you want? Yeah, it must be 16th note there. So this is 160 BPM, 16th note. But again, this just goes to show that if the entry point is to play fast, I just mess up completely. I can't do that. And I guess that's a limitation on my end, but I guess I get stressed and feel that I have to prove something and I just miss every note. But I think, again, if the focus is not on playing fast, then I think I can pull it off. But now that the focus is on playing fast, you know what? Let's take this one, 165 BPM. That's even faster. So yeah, I can do it. I feel like a strong man. I could play it. Bishal, what's up? Happy Christmas. Thank you. So the song I was playing was by Santana, was Smooth. Pretty cool. Ilusha, happy holidays, Batman. Awesome to have you here. Super heavy metal backing track in A minor. Cool, we got a request. Let's check it out. See if I can find myself a better or cooler sound. metal backing track in A minor. Check it out. So there we got a suggestion. By Next Level Gamer. And thank you, Mrs. Cheetah Potato, for digging my banana jam. Nice. Arabic beat. Very cool. Let's see if I can come up. So we're in E Phrygian dominant. Pretty cool. Do check it out. So yes, the Ibanez is back. It's a trusty guitar because it's very playable, and it seems to actually, among the, you know, the humbucker and the gainy guitars I have, it's definitely the one that cuts through the most. So it's really a bit like a, you know, a Strat and Les Paul somewhat combined, you know, where you get the cut-throughness of a Strat while still some sustain from a Les Paul. So yeah, what have we got now? So please let me know if you want me to try something else. Otherwise, I'll just grab backing tracks of my own. But it really gets more exciting when you guys throw stuff at me, especially stuff which you don't think I can handle and which I don't handle, because that's really can push me to try to be more creative. Because if I choose a backing track that I think I'm gonna master, I'll just be playing the same stuff over and over. And I'll be sitting in your live stream and asking you how you can help me to not being stuck in a rut, because that's what's gonna happen to me. But let's drink some water and try something else. Yeah, we're gonna try to eat some dry fruits. You know, it's that time. I meant to tell you this before, but I'm actually an Eggman. So I have to eat my daily fruits. So nice. It gives you needed sugar. And now I'm ready to sing. Stay alive, stay alive, ha 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 ha, stay alive, stay alive. So, yeah, we got a new suggestion just in time. Thank you, Mrs. G. Top Potato. Let's see what this is. Texas blues, cool. grab my Telecaster, since this is style of Albert Collin.
Run again. And I won't be coming back. Oh, you know she did me wrong. And I'm talking about my woman. Done me wrong. You won't be seeing me tomorrow. Cause I'll be on today. Switch over to some happier notes. Do my woman leave me? I'm still not sad. Came back from Texas. Oh, my car was gone. My house had burned down. But I was free as a bird. And I could tell the forest from the trees. That's right. And I was free as a bird. I could see the earth from above. I'm free as a bird. I'm free as a bird. I'm free as a bird. I done finding my woman. You ain't seeing me no more here. I ain't seeing no more fights over here. 'Cause I'm done. And I'll be gone by tomorrow.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Really happy sounding. Do check it out. Thank you very much, Mrs. Guitar Potato, for the cool suggestion. Texas Blues Albert Collins style. So there's the link if you guys want to check it out. And we have a request by Bishal Saha. And it says mellow backing track in A minor. Let's try it out. Ooh, yeah. Go by the other one you suggested, because you suggested two B sharp, and I'm gonna try the B minor melodious instead. So let's see what that is. B minor melodious backing track. Cool. This is a classic backing track, B minor melodious backing track, and everyone tells me it's in the style of Buckethead, so I guess it is. I'm not. I haven't listened super a lot to him, but what I've heard is pretty cool. So do check it out. Really cool suggestion. Thank you, Mr. Bishal. And I can see we have Mr. Benjamin Storm Linneberg in the chat. What's up, Ben? Merry Christmas to you. Thank you. Shredmas, that's it. So we've got a link with a smiley. I hate it when it happens. Let's see if I can just... Mrs. G Tapate, whenever that happens, you can just paste the link of the backing track, and I should be able to find it. So that didn't work. Come on. And it should be that. Oh. Yeah, E minor backing track. Judas Priest style. Ooh! Man, this is a crazy backing track. There's just no chorus coming, or just... So I would have wanted that big chord, but maybe it comes after a while. I'm just 1 minute 23 into the backing track. Yeah, I don't think I can deliver anything better over that one. Cool, so Bishal has a new suggestion. Rock ballad backing track in D minor. Let's try what that is. Let's see what that could be. In D minor. Nice. that's a very nice backing track. Rock and roll guitar backing track in D minor. Check it out. You play cool. Thank you, Bishal. So there's a question by Storm. Which key is the worst key for you to play in? You should find a track in that key. Actually, the worst key I think is A minor. Because it's so common and it just bores me. E minor is slightly better, but the other ones are more interesting. My favorite one is probably F sharp, just because, I don't know why. Maybe because it's fairly close to E minor, so it feels like home, but it still kind of different, sounds kind of different. A bit better because it's a whole step up, and you know that Enter Sandman chorus, where it's just from E to F sharp is such a standard cliche kind of movement to get something powerful. So yeah, F sharp. So let's just try that F sharp backing and see what we get. F sharp backing track. Again, if you guys want to suggest some more backing track or just want to stop me and ask a question, that's fine as well. Epic guitar backing track in F minor. Rock ballad, rock backing track in F sharp minor. There we have it. But first, a question by Bishal. When I sweep, extra notes are ringing. Any tips? Yes. My best tips for getting control over sweeping is to work out the pattern with the left hand only. So if you're working on this kind of C major sweep. Whoa. What a delay we have going there. Pretty cool. If you got that kind of shape and you want to get that more clean, I would press it with your left hand only. It does take some time, but the control you get from that is useful in so many different ways. You know, I've recently started doing that kind of thing. I just need to back off the... I'm not very good at it, but it's really thanks to me practicing the sweeping that way, with hitting with the left hand hard, that I'm able to use that for other techniques. So. Ow! Damn it! Not my thing. And it's with the Telecaster, it's especially annoying because you have these, you know, the side of the bridge. Really annoying. Ow. So play with your left hand only and try to get that. It's a matter of power, but mostly control. If you can get that going, it's going to be easy when you add the sweeping motion. I just want to add, if you want me to explain this in detail, you can check out my personal channel below, where I have 2 sweep picking videos that seem to be very appreciated by the YouTube community. And there I just go step by step how I go about 3 notes shapes and 5 note shapes and all the things I consider important to really get those techniques down. So you can do, you hold your hand there and try to mute the notes that you don't want to be heard, shouldn't be heard. And you also mute with this part of the finger. And then when you add the sweep, you should just get better as you add the sweeping motion. And also, I'm cheating a little bit. When I do those 3-string sweeps, I'm just sweeping downward, and then I'm sort of doing hammer-ons on the way down. So that's another benefit of being able to play those sweeps or arpeggios with the left hand only. You can do these kind of hacks, and it makes it much easier actually. So what I'm doing when playing this is just... So I'm just sweeping 3 notes. And then... I don't know if that makes sense. Kind of too fast, perhaps. So sweep, 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 hammer on, pull off, hammer on. Sweep, 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 hammer on, pull off, hammer on, and then the same thing again. Sweep, 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 hammer on, pull off, hammer on. Something like that. So let's try the F sharp rock guitar backing track. See if it's any good. Ooh, it's boomy. Or maybe not that bad. Just big bass. So, please guys, we are approaching the end. If you guys want me to explain anything more or jam over anything else, do suggest a backing track. Yeah, we got one. Crazy Funk in B minor. Thank you. You saved the chat, Bishal. Without you, we would have ended the chat now. Crazy Funk in B minor. Cool. There's actually two of them. One with 1 million views and one with 500 views. I'll go for the one with 1 million views. Yeah, funky. Do check that out. What humbucker pickups do you suggest best suitable for rock, hard rock? Thank you. Oh, that's so hard. Okay, rock, hard rock. I would say maybe go for the classics, like Seymour Duncan GB is a classic. But it's really, there are a lot of good options. So you can go for any of the common ones. You know, if you're really into heavy stuff, you can go for an active EMG, although I wouldn't recommend it. I'm actually really into single coils right now. So I have my Strats in for just fix some problems with the electronics. But I'm actually looking a little bit at buying a new guitar which has maybe slightly harder single coils or something with more single coils in it. And I'm really a fan of, you know, even single coils, like modern single coils, or you can get one with 2 rails. But I'm still learning, I'm still experimenting. So I would say go for the classic and then try that. You have them as reference. You can maybe sell them secondhand and try another one and you know, work your way to understanding how everything works together. You know, how the guitar's natural sound, how it works in combination with whatever pickups you go for. Sorry, I can't give you better advice on that. How am I? Thank you. What's your favorite Metallica song? Ooh, that's a hard question. My favorite Metallica tune? Oh, maybe... Sounds better in tune and down tuned. Hey, I'm your life. Ooh, I sounded like an alcoholic there. But yeah, that's probably my favorite one. So many good songs to choose from, but I would say, yeah, from the Black Album, that's probably my favorite album of all time, I would say, yeah. Because, just because. I mean, the songs are amazing. The sound, the production. I guess it's getting a little bit vintage now with modern standards, but to me it's just wow. You know, it's so different the way they mixed it with, you know, you could barely hear the guitar, but still it's really heavy and you know, the drums are really loud, and obviously James' voice with the drums is crazy, but really organic sounding and just a masterpiece throughout songwriting, production, everything. So cool. So that would be my favorite one. Cool. Mehmed likes my voice. Well, you're probably alone. You can check out some of the collabs we did on this channel. I've actually done a Metallica collab here, so you might want to check that out. On my personal channel, I have also some songs where I sing with that gutsy kind of James Hetfield style voice. I try to. I'm your lunch, I'm the one who takes you there. Hey, and I no longer care. I'm your dream, my distress. Yeah, I got that fair. Follow the gunner field. Yeah. And the earth becomes my throne. And the earth becomes my throne. Oh, you're daft too. Yeah, well, why don't you guys find me a Metallica backing track and I'll try to sing it. Maybe we would need some karaoke Metallica. Karaoke Metallica. Nothing else matters. That's too difficult. Enter Sandman. So let's try Enter Sandman. Oh, you don't want to hear this.
'cause it's a one. Don't forget my son, to include everyone. I tuck you in, warm it in, keep you free from sin, till the salmon he comes. Gripping your pillow tight, exhalate. And tonight, take my hand, rough to Neverland. Something's wrong.
No, something wasn't wrong. There.
Something's wrong. Shut the light. Heavy thought through the night, and the honest Snow White. Dreams of war, dreams of life, dreams of dragons fire, and the things that will buy. Yeah. Simple water open, gripping your pillow tight.
I can't sing this, man. I think I didn't move back to the normal key after the chorus, so I just stayed in F sharp. There we go. Did you want to hear that? Ah, great voice, thank you. Falsetto, yeah, I could try that. Let's see. No.
We're off to Neverland, yeah!
Yeah, falsetto sometimes, yeah, that's the only way I can nail a note. Obviously, I got a little lost here after a while. But yeah, that can be practiced. Jefferson Airplay. Not sure I've heard a lot of them. Jefferson Airplane. Backing. Let's try that. Somebody to Love. Whew. I can't find any backing tracks. I don't know these songs. White Rabbit. What is that? Sorry, I don't know what this is. Not a Jefferson Airplay. Plane. Oh, that's what they're called. Airplay. Well, that's why I couldn't find them. Airplane. There we go. Oh, still no difference. Only karaoke songs. Sorry, I suck at this. So did I miss a request there? Joe Satriani in E minor. Let's see what that is. Joe Satriani in E minor. Let's try it. I'll try. I got a suggestion there about Blackmore's Night. Haven't heard much from them, but perhaps I can find a cool backing track. Blackmore's Night backing. Backing track cover. Richie Blackmore style backing track. So let's just see if that. Let's see what that could be. You know what this is? What's the key? G. Close to my favorite key. So there we have Deep Purple style backing track. Never really a big fan of them. Sorry, Blackmore's Night. I haven't heard a lot of them. I should probably check them out. Jam track. No, Richie Blackmore style jam track. Let's see if we can just find another one that is more in the style of... I think it's softer, right? Blackmore's Night. Softer than his Deep Purple work. Same backing track. Is this perhaps closer to it? You guys find me a backing track and I'll try it. Nice. So we're reaching the end. We have one final suggestion there from Mrs. Gita Potato. I think that's going to be our outro trackio. So there you are. So I hope you guys, this new setup, I hope it worked. I'm going to look back at it. Hopefully we didn't get any interruptions or bad sync or whatever. If you want to give me your feedback, it's always appreciated. But hopefully today's session was okay. Technically, it definitely was okay from a social perspective because we had a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you so much for joining in. You know the deal. Every Sunday we meet, your time minus 2 hours and 15 minutes. And if you're just longing for me during the week, you can add me on Facebook and get more updates from me. But yeah, this has been an amazing session. Thank you so much. So let's see what this is. Pink Floyd backing track.
Floyd style backing track.
No.
In B minor.
There we go. Gotta start that again because I missed every imaginable note. Has arrived. The end is here. It's officially here. And I'm gonna end this amazing live stream with some final words.
See you next Sunday. Be there or be square.